Halloween.
Forever.
Good evening, Steven.
Hello, Brian.
We were just talking before we started. It's always weird to say hi. We've literally been talking for the last 5 minutes, but we were talking about how kind of weird and dumb this movie about here is. But before we get into all that weird dumbness, I got a little bit more weird dumbness for you. Steve, are you ready for one?
I'm ready.
I know the snowpocalypse is on our heels here. I just want to make sure you got the stomach for one. Knowing all that's about to go down. People are panicking.
I'm so fucking ready.
All right. I'm working on a video game, right? You know, Steve, how my New Year's resolution was to kill God, and we're gonna take some action. We're over on the Patreon. We're doing a Patreon exclusive, podcast series. We're gonna record our first episode of that right after this, where we're gonna try to figure out how to kill God through the cinematic lens. In any case, I'm working on this. I got multiple work streams going, right? Because I'm not going to fail this year.
Yes.
I'm going to figure it out, right? One of the things I'm doing, working on a video game. Okay, you might not know that I'm a programmer.
You're a
video
dev.
game designer and programmer. I'm a dev. That's what I meant to say. You'd think I would know what that's called, but anyway, in this game, you go back in time and you start off by killing Adam and Eve in the game. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It's a first person shooter.
Hey, that's a good one.
Welcome, boys and girls, to a moderately stupid Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Steve, because it's Adam and Steve.
I like that you like that one.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Yes. Speaking of moderately stupid, we decided, and we didn't have anything planned for this week in terms of the Minisode. And I said, Steve, you want to talk about Brainscan? Because I just watched a little flicky from, what is it, the year of our Lord, 1994, called Brainscan. And I watched it for the first time. Believe it or not, this was just one that's been, on my to watch list for did it. And I'm just scrolling through the tubies as one is wont to do. And I saw it and I watched it and I said, boy, howdy, that was a fucking weird movie. So let's talk about it. So that's what we're doing here for this mini-sode. But before we get into that, of course, we got to do some things at the top of the show. First and foremost, Steven, I know you're slurping on something over there, you dirty little boy. What are you slurping on? You slurping on a wet one, maybe?
I got a wet one. It says it's a spring wet one, but it's still pretty nice and cold weather drinking wet one. I don't know if you mentioned this one or if you have this one in your spring pack. You still got that Dogfish Head spring pack?
No, I drank all the one with the chicory stout and all that. No, I drank that.
Oh, okay. So this is one of their spring release ales for 2026, and they have the Czechspresso dark lager.
This must be. Oh, hell yes.
Yeah.
Right, this is a spring variety pack. I think mine was a winter variety pack. You must have the spring variety pack.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to go get that.
Yeah,
I love a Czech dark lager.
So I don't know if this came in a variety pack or if it's just a spring release. Because
you popped this at the old single section.
Yeah, I went over to the old JRs and I got loaded up with some singles. This was there, and then I got another one, the 61, which is an ale with like Pinot Noir red wine in it.
Nice.
So yeah, but yeah, Czech espresso, dark lager with espresso, 5%. And man, does this drink so fucking good because it is so smooth and it has none of like the bitterness you associate with coffee. Like the coffee is not heavy and it's nothing like if you're a fan of coffee stouts, this is nothing like that. But it's nice and soft and easy drinking and malty and bready and coffee-y. This is a breakfast beer.
It's just you're just having an old time slurping on that thing. I'm gonna have to go get that. I'm loving that people are coming out with spring variety packs this year. I think it's smart. The variety packs are coming back. People are turning back to like old reliable breweries. Variety packs are jumping up, I think, in popularity. And, you know, nobody's made a spring variety pack, I feel like, in a long ass time. So I'm excited for that. Speaking of it, I'm still cranking through this spring variety pack over here, the Sam Adams, and I'm drinking a you know, pretty well-known seasonal they've had for a long time. It's a wit beer. I'm just drinking some Cold Snap White. But I'm drinking it out of an Orval glass because you know what? Felt cute. Poured it in an Orval glass. Why not? You know?
Sure.
I felt like something stemmed. I feel like this is a real highbrow thinker of a movie, so I need something in a stemmed glass. But yeah, just kind of a, you know, slightly Americanized take. Honestly, it reminds me very much of a Blue Moon.
Oh,
Honestly,
okay.
it does not really drink like a classic wit beer, you know, with the really perfumey curacao, you know, dry bitter orange peel. It's just like a little bit of a coriander and very orange forward, very citrus forward. It reminds me of you know, they're kind of going after trying to make something that's akin to a Blue Moon.
Yeah.
And it says it's got orange peel and spices, which I assume is coriander, but it also has clementine, specifically orange peel, which is again an eaten orange rather than them old, you know, bitter orange peels they use over in Belgium's. It's fine. It's probably my least favorite in that pack. But I ain't mad at it. It'll drink okay. It's like, like a Blue Moon, you know.
Sure.
Hey, nobody's getting me mad at a Blue Moon, but you know what? Also, it's not going to set the world on fire.
No, yeah. I used to pound Blue Moon when I was in college. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
We'll jump back to the Dogfish Head Spring Variety Pack.
Yes.
The Czech Espresso is in that pack, but the 61 with the wine is not in it.
That sounds like a specialty release.
Yeah. But also in that pack is the 60-minute IPA. Fine.
Sure.
Fine. The Kolsch, which is a Kolsch style ale. It's fine.
Okay. Just a straight Kolsch.
Yeah.
Good. I thought you were going to say with like fucking, you know, dingleberries or some dumb shit.
No.
But just a straight up Kolsch. Love it. Love that.
No, it's all pretty straight up. Like the Czech Espresso is actually the most, you know, wild one because the other one they have, and I like this, it's called the Mid-90s, and it's a microbrewery style red ale. That's how they're calling it.
They're literally calling a microbrewery style. I fuck with that.
Yeah.
You give me a variety pack. I think, listen, if some brewery just wants to be cheeky like that and just come out with the 90s, you know, late 90s microbrewery, or early 2000s microbrewery, and just come out with a variety pack that is a blonde ale, a red ale, a brown ale, and a pale ale.
Yeah.
I will fucking hammer that thing. I'll drink 12 of them a day.
They're getting pretty close with this one. So yeah, like I said, the Czech Espresso, which is still a dark lager, is like the most out of pocket one they have. So they're pretty.
I love the like hard reset that's happening in craft beer right now. I mean, listen, I'm just a fucking, like I said, I'm a craft beer nihilist. Even when craft beer was really, really popular and everybody was so fucking annoying, I kept saying like, I can't wait till this is not popular again. So only people who actually give a fuck about decent stuff are still here, and they're not putting fucking, you know, blue, you know, cotton candy in their fucking stouts and shit like that. I know that makes you sad because you're a Gloop Glop guy, but I've turned into straight craft beer nihilism over here.
Well, see, I think in that case, I'm a craft beer nihilist in the other fashion. Because it's not that I don't appreciate
You're an anarchist. You're a craft beer anarchist.
Well, I just mean that I just believe that there is no truth to the style of craft beer. That anything could be craft beer. You know, like.
But you also prefer it to be bad.
Sometimes.
That's the difference between us. Is we both agree that it's just like make it whatever it is, but you're like, I specifically want it to be bad.
Sometimes, yeah. Because and I think that nihilism in me grows from the fact that I actually started drinking Steel Reserve. So like I don't give a shit what you make because I started drinking Steel Reserve. You know, there's nothing that reaches worse than that. So yeah, man, if you want to make fucking Gloop Glop cheesecake and throw it in a can, yeah, that's going to taste better than Steel Reserve. That's all I need.
That's true. That is fair. All right. We got a couple other quick things we got to do. First of all, Stephen, why don't you tell them what we're about to do here for our showdown in February? Because this is becoming an annual tradition that is very fun, and I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, so last year, I believe we did it in January, actually, but because of the way holidays fell and the way scheduling people is hard, we skipped it in January. We're going to do it in February, but we are bringing back the Regal Ruckus, our legally distinct format of eliminating people one by one over the top rope in a good old showdown. And this year our theme is going to be sickest masks. If you've heard in the previous episodes that were voted upon by the audience, we are going to have a returning champion, we're going to have another guest, and we're going to have hopefully 2 more guests that I won't announce, but I can announce our first 2 entrants in the Regal Ruckus aside from Brian and I. First, returning champ from the first Regal Ruckus, Halloween.
Should we? I almost feel like we should do the pause theme music. But yeah, Halloween. Listen, I don't. Not that it has anything to do with that thing, but Halloween is our returning champion. So somehow he held out and took everybody down last year. I don't remember, what was the topic last year. Was it bad? It was like good movies with bad titles or something like that, wasn't it?
Yep, it was good movies with bad titles. And he started, I think he even Ric Flaired the whole thing and went coast to coast. He started at number 1, and then I believe I was manipulated into helping him eliminate other people, and then he tossed me and then won the whole thing with Nori the Curse. He took us for a real ride. Yeah, which I didn't believe was necessarily a bad title for that movie. So he just kind of snaked his way through it and won out. So we'll see what he does this year when he comes in with the grabber mask from the Black Phone movie.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, it's a fun mask.
Yeah.
Fun mask, and a mask that is, of course, very, central to the plot of at least the first movie. I have not seen the second movie, but I'll be sure to watch it before we record in case it is referenced. Okay, fun. Who else is going to join us? I know we don't have everybody, but we got a couple people confirmed.
Yes. And our next entrant, if you remember from the poll, one of our topics that was able to be voted upon was Big Top Horror. And had Big Top Horror won, we obviously would have brought back Big Top Ben.
Of course.
But it didn't win, but I feel like that doesn't mean he gets excluded from the Regal Ruckus itself. And so Big Top Ben, aka Big Ween Ben, aka Bigfoot Ben, will be joining us for the Regal Ruckus and representing the Peach Fuzz mask from Creep.
Okay. That's a good one. That was on my short list. I have a definitive first pick, but that was on my, one of my 3 backups.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought about it. I don't think it was, I don't think I shortlisted it yet. So
yeah,
I don't have to now because it's Big Top Ben's.
Yep. All right. Do you want to announce yours? Do you want me to announce mine? What are you thinking?
I'm still up in the air with mine because I have a couple. Okay. I have a couple ideas. I have one that I'm pretty firm on, but generally I like to, as champion, I like to let guests get first pick. So, but you're fine to announce yours if you want to. I think we've announced 2 guests. You can take a pick. We'll see if we can get 2 more guests, and then I'll announce mine. Probably all on that episode.
Deal. All right. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about one of my absolute favorite movies, but also a movie that has a fantastic, creepy mask, actually a series of masks and we'll talk about them specifically, or one specifically when we get into this movie. I'm going to talk about the 1979 cult slasher classic Tourist Trap, starring one.
Ooh.
Did we talk about Tourist Trap before?
Oh yeah, we've done a whole Tourist Trap episode. Sorry.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I forgot. I did not think we did Tourist Trap before.
We sure have. Yeah.
Yeah. God damn it. Okay. All right. So yeah, now that you're saying it, now all right.
I believe this is you betraying yourself, even because I think
I'm pretty sure
you unleashed
now that
it
you say
as
that
a punishment film on Meg and I. It's a real early episode because Meg was still on the show. But yeah, you definitely made.
Damn it! Now that now I'm thinking about it, and now I was about to say Chuck Connors, then I was like, shit! I think I do remember talking about Chuck Connors on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that throws things on a little bit of a side trajectory for me, because I did have Peach Fuzz on there as well. I think what I am going to. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to just be decisive here, and I am going to go with. Let me see. I'm going to do the Owl Mask from 1987's Stage Fright.
Okay, I've seen that come up on some lists.
Yeah, I like that movie. I love that mask. It's weird. It's giant. It's not. Listen, Dan, don't get off my case. All right, I fucked up and I picked a movie that was already picked. I'm the most indecisive. Dan said in the chat, the most decisive pick. Yes, that was a very decisive pick. I'll tell you the other one I was kind of back and forth on, and I like this movie better, but the mask isn't as big of a part of the movie. I was going to pick Demons.
Yes.
And that like silver shiny mask from Demons.
Yeah.
I like the movie Demons, Demones, if you will, more than I like Stage Fright. But that mask is just not a big enough part of the movie.
Sure.
So that's why I didn't pick it.
If anybody's interested, you can all go back to episode 25, Redneck Shenanigans Showdown.
Long time ago.
Yeah, which featured Wolf Creek versus Tourist Trap versus 2000 Maniacs.
That was a good episode. Those are good. That's three fun films. I love Tourist Trap, and I just purchased a special edition Blu-ray of it, and I was looking forward to digging into that for the podcast. And you really took the wind out of my sails. That's all right. I'm excited to talk about Stage Fright. That one's a movie that I've been trying to weasel into the show for a while. Anyway,
sure.
All right. So join us next week to learn about our remaining guests, their picks, and Steven's pick for our Royal Ruckus. Regal Ruckus. Excuse me.
Regal.
Don't sue. Not Royal.
Don't sue.
No way Royal. In no way Royal. It's very regal, in fact. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about? Oh, well, we mentioned really briefly, but tell the boils and ghouls before we get into some brain scan what's going over on the Patreon this month, because we got some fun stuff happening.
Yeah, as Brian already mentioned at the very top of the episode, we have our brand new exclusive series starting on the Patreon. But if you go to patreon.com/HalloweenIsForever, sign up, give us $5, and you get that exclusive podcast, all of our previous exclusive podcasts. You get written reviews and recos. You get, I actually did a write-up recently of that film, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which Rose Byrne just got nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress, and she also won the Golden Globe for that. So I think it's probably a lock for her. That movie is great, and it's really horror adjacent.
Okay.
But it is a 2-hour long anxiety inducing machine.
Okay.
Like it is a hard watch, and I don't necessarily suggest it for you, but hey, go on the Patreon, read about it, and then maybe you decide whether or not you want to watch it. it's a very good movie, but man, is it a fucking just a nightmare. And I could see it being a nightmare for a lot of people. So you get reviews and records, you get all that. You get on the Discord, you get to watch us record episodes happen live. You get to write in the chat. Dan just confirmed, the thoughts about the movie we were just talking about, saying it's memorable. So yeah, you get all those things, and we'll talk to you in the chat. We'll talk about you on the show. You get it all. Sign up, and maybe I'll talk to you about culinary class wars if I'm on Discord at the right time.
Yeah. All right. Let us jump on into this 1994. What should we call it? A tech horror. Early 90s, mid 90s tech horror classic.
Mm-hmm.
Brainscan. Classic might be a strong word, but this is
directed by. Classic is rough.
Yeah.
I
even amongst tech horror, I don't think we would put this in classics. That's for sure.
No,
but it's fun. It's fun. I had mixed feelings about it. I really wanted to like it a lot, and then some points in the movie, I was like, I really do like this a lot. And then there's other time I was like, oh, this is fucking terrible. And then the ending is real bad, so it doesn't necessarily leave you in a good place. But I think it's a fun watch overall.
Sure.
Just don't expect too much out of it. It's directed by John Flynn, and I will say I didn't know much about John Flynn, but as I delve deeper into his, directorial filmology here, he is known mostly for like tough guy thrillers, right? Rolling Thunder, a big one. The Outfit, which I guess is, kind of like a mob adjacent movie, I think. But like Out for Justice, Steven Seagal. He Lock Up with Sylvester Stallone. He did Defiance with John Michael Vincent. It's a lot of tough guy shit, tough guy films, punch 'em ups. Hey guys, man, a movie that I've never seen but looks exactly what you expect. It's called Nails from 1992. It's starring Dennis Hopper, and the tagline is "A good cop with a few bad habits." So this is kind of what you're getting from John Flynn typically. So to get this fucking weird ass like mid 90s CD-ROM Freddy Krueger movie is so fucking weird. And I don't know. It just feels like a weird anomaly, right? I did learn in doing a little bit of research in this movie that it was written quite a bit earlier by, let me see, who actually was the writer on this one? Andrew Kevin Walker. Let's see what he has written. Oh, he wrote Seven. He wrote The Game, Sleepy Hollow. He's got Event Horizon. He's got writing credits on a lot of big movies. But he wrote this in like I want to say like mid to late 80s originally, like a screenplay for this. And it was about like a VHS tape. And then it just sat on the shelf. And then they gave it a rewrite and added the whole like early internet /
video game
technology.
Yeah. So okay, that makes more sense that if it was written in the mid to early 80s, why it sat around, because this has a lot of Videodrome in it.
Big time. I mean, especially with some of the effects and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Videodrome for stupid people is kind of the way I
it's
walked
not
away.
It's certainly not as intellectually deep. This movie's pretty surface level. Like that's fine. It reads like a teen, a teen slashery type of movie. Like I called it R.L. Stine's Nightmare on Elm Street because the main antagonist, which we'll get, is really the most memorable part of the movie by a long shot. He's called Trickster, which he's basically a cross between like Freddy Krueger and, if you've ever seen Little Monsters, Howie Mandel's character from Little Monsters, he's called Maurice. He's like the monster that lives under the bed and it's his buddy. He's crossed between those two guys. But then if it was like if you just MTV'd him up a lot. That's kind of what his vibe is. And he is the most memorable part of the movie by far.
What I think is interesting about this film is it exists almost as a perfect halfway point between Videodrome and a movie in 2006 called Stay Alive, which was also like a video game based killer movie, like where you get sucked into the video game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life type shit. Yeah. It starred Frankie Muniz. So yeah, it's funny because this movie, I think both of those movies are like 11 to 12 years on either side of this movie, which is what it feels like they were going for. So yeah, there's also just a little tiny bit of fear.com in this, I think, maybe. Just a little bit. A little
fear.com.com. But here is my thought is Videodrome, I didn't think of fear.com.com. I did think of Videodrome. I mean, it's impossible not to make the comparisons with Videodrome at one part in the movie where they're actually doing like the same effect, you know, that actually multiple times in the movie when the trickster first shows up, but then also later when the trickster and we'll get into it, but the main character kind of like fuse together some bullshit. Very Videodrome. But I got a ton of Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
That was what I immediately thought about. Because of all the, you know, it's like the virtual reality element of it, and then him getting sucked through cyber fucking tunnels and tubes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, of course, but in any case, it is very much a tech horror movie, which are some of the movies that are the most like beautifully dated films in the world. They're just like, there's such a snapshot of the time they were made because they're all about a technology that is going to be obsolete within like several years of the movie coming out. Or Videodrome's held up.
Yeah. Or they're predictive of something that never comes, something that never comes to pass. Like they are far beyond whatever actually happened. Like Lawnmower Man. We still aren't at the levels of VR that they think was going to come out of that.
Yeah, what they thought would be here by like, you know, 2000. But yeah, Videodrome actually holds up, you know, remarkably well. But like Post, if you saw the movie, you know, it came out like around COVID, great film, like already feels very dated. Deadstream and there's tons of them out there, right? But this definitely falls in that category. So, to set it, well, let's talk about the cast real quick. The most notable, I mean, actually a really great cast here, but stars a young Edward Furlong, plays the main character, Michael. I will say, as an Edward Furlong fan, not his strongest performance. He didn't. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but it did not seem like he wanted to be there. Now, he is playing this like apathetic, like cyber goth kid. So I get that, but it felt also like he just did not want to be there as an actor.
Yeah, okay, he can be apathetic and everything up front, but when he's asked to do acting, he does bad acting. And like his performance is so bad, it's literally the first trivia note on IMDb that like the director John Flynn said he would have to act, or he would have to slap Eddie Furlong awake just to get him to like wake up in the morning and come to set and do work. And he flat out says he couldn't act. So
yeah,
he just, it's fuck you.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah. Tired is a good way to describe his performance. He's a kid in this movie, whatever, but yeah, it's not a strong performance, but he's got a little bit of the charm that you would expect from Edward Furlong, right? Like you come to know. Now it's like I said, probably the worst performance I've ever seen. But he still is, you know, he's still got some charm to him. A weird decision, but a decision I love. The cop that's kind of chasing Michael through the whole movie, is Detective Hayden is his name, played by Frank Langella, which just feels like I don't know, seems like overkill. Why I love that they got Frank Langella for this, but it feels like they could have gotten a way worse actor and it would have been fine.
Yeah, like a way worse actor. Like he has the gravitas of a detective, and I think it feels like overkill because his character doesn't do enough to like really solve any crimes, or like he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't menace Michael as much, even though he does. Like he is on his tail, and it feels like like he knows Michael's involved, but at the same time, I don't know. Just something about him. He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't feel like a villain or anything, or an anti-hero, or however you would put it. It just doesn't.
Yeah. It's not his most dynamic performance either. You can kind of get the vibe that maybe he's just gotta, hey, you got me for a few days here, guys. Like, get what you're gonna get out of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's Frank Langella, so he brings a lot of gravity to it. He's obviously an exceptional actor. The runaway performance here, actually two, I would say is great. I'll mention Amy Hargreaves as
It's Kimberly,
the next door neighbor. She's very likable. She's a creep and is creeped upon in a pretty intense way. The male gaze of the camera on this supposed to be teenage girl is very uncomfortable for most of it. But she's very likable. She's very charismatic and very believable as like the love interest girl next door.
Yeah, she is. But it's uncomfortable to the point that I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, she's 25 in this film, because at the time of filming, Edward Furlong is 15 in this film. Okay, and she's supposed to be 16. But then I looked up, she's 25 when she filmed this
Makes
movie.
Me feel a little bit better, because I was like, she looks like 17, and it was getting to be a little much.
Yeah.
But she's great.
She's I think a lot of people might recognize her more recently. She was in Blue Ruin. She plays Macon Blair's sister in that film. And then she was also in a more recent film called Founders Day, which is it's an okay slasher.
Okay.
She plays the mayor of a town in that film. And then I think a lot of people will recognize her from 13 Reasons Why. She plays the mom of the main kid in that TV show, that garbage ass show that I like.
Just like a multi-cam sitcom, I assume, kind of thing. Or
no, you never heard of 13 Reasons Why?
No.
This is.
I just, when you said that, I just thought of like the 8 reasons why you shouldn't date my teenage daughter, or some dumbass fucking Tim Allen fucking multi-cam sitcom.
No. This show is fucking prime Netflix dog shit, and it rules.
Okay.
Consider watching it with your wife, because I mean she might hate it as well. But it is it's all about this girl who commits suicide in high school and then leaves 13 cassette tapes to all the people in high school, telling them why she killed herself. And
sick. By
the end of season 2, like there's nothing left to do with her, and they have 3 seasons. So think about that.
And there's werewolves that come in and shit. Yeah, this sounds like Pretty Little Liars kind of horse shit. She was also in Super Dark Times, which was a good watch as well. Although I think she played a relatively, I don't remember her from that. She played. I already scanned away from it, but in any case, the guy who really steals the show here is a gentleman named T. Ryder Smith, whom I do not know from anything. Apparently, he was in the last year's Springsteen, docu-flick starring Jeremy Allen White, the bear dude. Yeah. Apparently, he was in that. He was in Birth in 2004 that I don't know anything about. He was in The Report in 2019. I don't know him from anything. But boy, is he in a TV show or something?
He's in a couple TV shows. I think the most memorable role he has is in the Venture Brothers. He's actually a couple voices on the Venture Brothers.
Oh, okay.
But his biggest role on the Venture Brothers is Baron Unterbite. If you remember that character, he was like
the character.
Yeah, he's like the big kind of fascist dictator, almost stand-in for Doctor Doom is really what his character is. So yeah, he plays the Baron Unterbite character. But yeah, he's in a couple other TV shows, but they're mostly just one episode type deals.
Yeah, he plays Trickster, which we'll talk about who Trickster is, and frankly have to answer some questions about who Trickster is. And they let this guy really chew the scenery, and they just let him go.
Yeah.
And, if I can say anything to the credit of John Flynn is that you let this dude cook, and it made the movie. It made the movie.
So apparently, and I think this is most of the cast except for Edward Furlong, everybody seems to have like a big stage acting history. So, Frank Langella, obviously stage actor.
Okay.
This T. Ryder Smith, they got him off stage acting. The kid who plays Kyle was apparently like huge as a stage actor, and you barely see him in anything else, but like he was big in a stage acting presence. And I think Amy Hargreaves also did some stage acting. So yeah,
interesting.
It's Edward Furlong surrounded by a bunch of actors.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can see that. Kyle did a nice job, although he doesn't exactly play 15 years old. But he was
like Amy Hargreaves. He's also like 26, 27, playing a teenager.
He does seem so much older than Edward Furlong in here, but I don't know. I liked his performance. It was very theatrical, very project into the back of the auditorium type of thing. All right, so let's just start off. We won't kick right into the Trickster, or just Trickster. I keep on calling him the Trickster. It's actually just Trickster. But let's just high level, get into the plot here. We start off with a car accident of a dead mother and the crying injured child beside her. It's like a really heavy start to this movie. But we learn pretty quickly that this was obviously Michael. He survived. His mom died in this car accident, and his father is a traveling businessman. So essentially, like, this is a trope, which I just kind of started to understand this as a trope, and I do want to dig a little deeper into movies like this. But he is essentially like a wealthy orphan.
Yeah,
and like there is a whole, I think, subgenre of films that we need to explore about wealthy orphans, just rich kids whose parents aren't there and they're just there by themselves, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. This has I think this has some vibes of, what was it? What's the name of it? It's something 376 Père Noël or whatever.
Oh yes, okay.
Like, like it is, like you're saying, it is a trope. Like, it's these wealthy orphans that they also have like a mastery and command of engineering and tech. Like they have all the money in the world. So like but they have also all the time in the world and no supervision. So they build out, these crazy computer setups. And I feel like, the tonal difference of this film, and like, I don't know, I can't think of a good like Disney Channel comparison.
How about like Hey Arnold? I feel like it's a little bit this, like, that crazy room and all that stuff that he like supposedly built. Yeah, it's like he's a bedroom kid, okay?
Yeah.
He stays in his bedroom all the time, but he doesn't have a parent to tell him to go to sleep or to like get up or to go to school or to do anything. So he's just kind of on his own. So he's just like an eccentric millionaire, essentially, in terms of like how he spends his time. So in this instance, he becomes like this, mastery of all this like tech. He's got essentially the first Siri in his room, but it is essentially just a voice command to dial phone numbers, so it's not as impressive as that. But he is, it's his little Igor, that he says like, "Hey, dial, whatever phone number," and it dials it up automatically, which would in 1994 would have been quite impressive. He's got his computer. He's even got his like proto gaming chair
Right.
in his room and shit. He's got all this. He's just got a cool monster kid room. He's obsessed with horror movies, horror video games. And like, for those of you who are a little bit younger, you might not have the frame of reference, but like in the mid 90s, in the 80s, it was all about like, if you listen to Rat, you're going to kill your parents in their sleep. You know what I mean? If you party hard enough with David Lee Roth, you're going to burn a church down. Like that was everyone's concern. That's in the media was just pushing this whole thing. The satanic panic was happening, all that. In the 90s, it was about video games and Mortal Kombat and Splatterhouse and
even Doom.
Gosh, what was the one?
Even Doom
for sure. Yeah, they kicked it off in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
but it was violent video games were the next thing that was going to make everyone, go crazy and murder their parents. So he is that kid. He is a product of that. He loves video games. He loves video game violence. He loves horror movies, all this sort of stuff, right? As does his friend Kyle next door. They even have like a little horror club at school where they watch spooky movies. I do love the shithead principal. And I don't remember what his name is, and frankly I don't care, but he is the representative of like the moral authority. He's like the Tipper Gore in this situation, and he delivers one of the funniest lines ever. And I have it written down, but he basically says like, why do you want to watch these horror movies? Because they come into the horror club and they're seeing someone watch a movie called like Die 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 or something, and it's just like looks like some like cheesy 70s.
I think the movie's actually absurd. I think it is.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it is.
But it's like some like gothic horror, low budget horror movie from probably the 60s or something like that. And he's like, you can't watch this. And he basically says like, I have to vet everything that you guys do in the horror club, and then I'll let you have, start it back up again, because this is all gonna poison your brain or whatever.
It's actually not absurd. It's the Dracula saga, a movie from 1973. Believe it looks like it's either Spanish or Mexican Dracula horror movie. Yeah, Spain.
So, yeah, they're getting down on some Dracula. And Duder comes in and is like, shut this nonsense off. Anyway, takes Eddie Furlong to his office. And so he goes, why do you watch this stuff? Meanwhile, he has like a bow tie and like a sweater vest. So he's like very stereotypical, like, uptight teacher, principal, whatever. And he says, it's an escape. I think it's because it's an escape and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, escape? Like lighting up a marijuana cigarette? And then you're like, okay, I see what you're getting. You're like making the escapism to drug abuse, whatever. Okay, fine. And he's like, you mean like watching a pornographic sex film, getting an erection and raping someone? And he's like, is it like that? And my immediate thought that popped in my head, which made me laugh more than that stupid line, was I just immediately responded in my brain with the Moonanite's voice and just said, no, not at all like that.
No, not at all.
Not at all like that. Such a wild line. And the whole time, like, yeah, he's just looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, the way that is such one of those moral authority leaps in logic that just like made no sense back in the day, but that's the way like you riled people up in the 90s of like, yeah, you're gonna, if you watch a porno film, you're gonna become a rapist because that's all that happens. It's like, no, man, you just like jack off and go to sleep. Like, you just,
honestly, not just in the 90s, it's literally the exact same thing today.
yeah. Today is like, if you watch pornography, you become a simp and your fucking testosterone goes down and you can't get right with God and you become addicted to it. It's like, yeah, they just found a bunch of different hoops and explanations to jump through to like explain their own bad behavior. Which is like, you just don't know how to treat people. You don't know how to fucking,
you're
like,
just a bad person with no moral compass.
Yeah.
So that's how things play out for you, because you're bad. Your brain's bad. You have a bad, smooth brain. Yeah. So I also, let me be clear, I am not trying to get right with God. I'm actively trying to murder him.
Yeah, that was a thesis statement earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so, you get the idea of what our boy Eddie's up against. I'm just going to call him Eddie Furlong, by the way. So Kyle tells him about some sick ass video game that's supposed to be so intense. And how does he describe it? I think he says it interfaces with your subconscious. And I don't know if Kyle tells him that, but I think he hears that later on. But this is the type of game we're kind of getting into, right? It's the ultimate extreme horror game. It's different than anything else. It's going to fuck your life up and all this stuff. It's called Brainscan. All right. Michael decides he's going to call up the phone number in the ad and learn a little bit about it. And he's, not convinced by the whole thing. This is where he gets the explanation of like it interfaces with your subconscious and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, fine, whatever. Lets it go. But then the game shows up at his door a couple days later. And he's like, I didn't order this and whatever, but too late. You're already in it.
Except you absolutely did. You called the number and said, I'm interested in this. And then they sent it to you.
He didn't give them the old credit card number, but yes, otherwise you did call them. And so in a way, yes, you did. But yeah, so he pops it in one night. They're having a party next door. We see Kimberly, by the way. And not only is Michael an eccentric, wealthy orphan, he's also a full-on peeping Tom. So much so that he like takes videos of the next door neighbor girl undressing through her window. It also is a bit uncomfortable because she clearly knows he's watching and is like putting on a show for him a little bit. And we actually learn later that is true. But in the moment, you're like, is that happening? Or is this just like we're seeing it from his perspective? The whole thing, very uncomfortable. But she's having a party next door. He kind of is scared to go over and tell her how he feels and talk to her and blah, blah. They're just kind of doing this weird flirting through the windows. So he just says, fuck it. I'm going to go play I'm going to play this game. So he pops in the disc, and I will be honest. I was always as like a, we were not the family that had the latest technology growing up. In fact, I was always like two systems behind. Like when people were getting, Super NES and Sega, I was just getting like a hand-me-down NES. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then like when everybody was getting PlayStation, we got a Super Nintendo. Like we would always be like kind of one generation behind. Like when the price dropped, because the new system was coming out, that's when we would get the new system. So I missed this. My uncle, who was my like youngest uncle, he was like a teenager and in his 20s, like around this time. So I remember him having like a Sega CD and stuff like that.
Okay.
But so I played it a little bit, but I never. Why does he have to call the phone number? Is that like a thing that you have to like sync it up, or what are we meant to understand there?
I think that's partially something that was left over from like the older script, or maybe like an intermediate script, because what it seems to happen to him is it feels like he gets phone freaked, which now this is something for our younger listeners that they don't really get. And I think you can probably see good evidence of this in the film from the 90s, Hackers, but there was a thing back in the day before we really had like good internet and everything, you could call in to different numbers, and like if you produced a certain tones, you could collect calls for free, or you could bypass certain systems, and they called it phone freaking. And I think he gets phone freaked by the machine that sends a pulse through the phone and fucking hypnotizes him and makes him crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because at first you're almost like he has him dial the 555 fear or whatever the fuck it is, fear.com. But he has his phone number dial it. His little automatic dialer thing, dial it. So at first I was like, wait, is this some sort of like early dial-up modem thing for like an online game? But it doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be like you have this CD-ROM game. He just pops into his computer and he gets this, image on the screen. But then he also calls the number. But calling the number is what really seems to like kick off the whole experience. So I was kind of confused about what was happening. I don't think that it matters that much, but when he signs into the game, shit starts to get wacky, right? They do say like you're going to basically get like hypnotized,
right?
And the host of the game is Trickster, and he's basically like, listen, this is what the game is like. You're going to have your own. You're going to be the psycho killer. You're going to be thrust into this environment where you're going to feel like it's going to feel like you're a murderer. And I'm like, that it feels like it should be that you're being chased by a murderer. This feels more like a fucking sociopath game than a like horror game or whatever. Like you're not like, I know that it might be scary. I would assume it's scary to murder somebody, but like, wouldn't it make more sense for you to be the one who is being threatened by a murderer? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get the premise of that.
This is the thing. It's like, this is clearly a movie that is made by a horror comedy of sorts. I mean, it's not even like a comedy, but it's a horror movie that is made by someone and written by somebody who fundamentally does not understand horror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, doesn't understand horror. Because so there's another writing credit for the movie called Brian Owens, and so Andrew Kevin Walker wrote the actual screenplay, but Brian Owens only like,
don't say Brian Walker.
No,
that just was giving me a lot of Fast and Furious.
No.
Paul Walker and his name's Brian, and I got really upset.
But yeah, the other credited writer who came up with the story, I guess. So like, I guess he pitched the idea of like, it's a story about, a video that makes you crazy and kill. He has one other movie, and it's called Happy Hell Night. So it is another, just like horror movie, but man, I don't know. None of this reads as like somebody who really understands horror, because it has like these weird moralizings to it, and then the ending is just doo-doo.
Yeah, it's real strange too. In like, I mean, I can understand how it gets to a place of being scary for Eddie, but if the premise of the game doesn't feel like a horror game, I don't know. Long story short, the first disc of the game is basically a simulation of him as like a first person type situation of him in an environment going and just doing a home invasion and murdering a guy in his bed, like literally just walking up to a guy who's sleeping and stabbing him to death and then cutting his foot off. And it's fairly brutal. He's just a random guy, so you don't have really any connection to him, but you're just like, it's fairly brutal. But then the next day, he actually goes over to talk to Kimberly and is waiting for her and standing in her living room with her very like weird, awkward parents who apparently hate him for some reason. And he sees on the news that like a guy actually did get stabbed or actually did get murdered like in their neighborhood. And his foot was cut off, and then Eddie goes back and there is the severed foot in his freezer. So, it happened, right? So no, holy shit, he's freaking out at this point. Kyle is a little bit like, hey, I want to play this game. And Michael's like kind of being standoffish with his buddy. He doesn't want to talk to him. He's like obsessed with what's happening with this game. We then get introduced to the trickster in his like full physical form in the real world. And let me describe what he looks like. I said he looks a little bit like Maurice from Little Monsters, but he also has this like very rock and roll kind of heavy metal-ish looking like leather suit on. He's got this like
almost
weird,
like formal Alice Cooper.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a Victorian looking, almost kind of Alice Cooper thing going. He's got like almost like 80s Reba McEntire hair, except for like kind of cuts, like, but like balding, you know what I mean? But then let like a widow's peak, but letting it grow all floppy. It's very fucking weird.
It also has like for some reason it reminded me of Drop Dead Fred.
Sure,
just because of the red hair. But like he has.
I get Drop Dead Fred and Little Monsters. I feel like there's a lot of like, in my mind, there's a lot of confusion there. I feel like.
Yeah. Like it feels like all of that kind of mushed together. Like he doesn't have the blue skin like Howie Mandel, but he has kind of like, like you're saying, he has this rock and roll sensibilities to him, but also he's somewhat cartoonish, like Drop Dead Fred is. And like the way his face is stretched, it's not particularly scary, but it is like, like monstrous. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a unnatural looking facial structure, kind of. Like he's got all these prosthetics on. The actor's got all these prosthetics on. He's also has like very not human teeth, like these weird pointy teeth as well. Yeah, Steve put a picture here in the disc. Oh no, you put a picture of
that's Alice Cooper
in the Discord.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah,
I searched.
It actually does. I mean, that Alice Cooper outfit, very much like what we're experiencing with Trickster here for sure. So yeah, he is. Oh, and also he has these super long fucking fingers. You know what I mean? These like ghoulish long fingers with long fingernails that he's always doing a lot of very theatrical hand gestures with. And he's kind of like this weird genie. Oh, and I almost forgot. You just put a picture in here. I almost forgot he has the crushed velvet over like coat from his leather vest. And then he's got fingerless gloves. I mean, come on. But yeah, he's got big, these like big ears that with like earrings in it. So again, this like metal type of thing. He's got nose rings, but he's got this like sunken ghoulish eyes, and yeah, very, very cool, weird, very 90s design to this creature.
Yeah. I would watch another movie with this character in it. Like, yeah, like as much as I'm kind of like about the whole movie as a whole, I would watch another movie with Trickster in it.
Sure, absolutely. And especially because they give him stuff to do and they keep it in the movie. Like they just, like I said, they just let him cook and they keep it in the movie. There's one point where like Eddie runs away to go do something and he leaves like some food behind. There's two different scenes. I think I'm confusing them both, putting them both together. But there's one where he leaves some food behind, and Trickster starts eating all his food and throwing it all over the place and making a big mess, like he's a damn gremlin or a critter. Mm-hmm. And then there's another one where another time when he's watching like a movie that Eddie was watching, and Eddie walks away. He like sits down and like crosses his hands over his waist and like leans back and gets comfortable in like his TV watching position.
Yeah, he's just
of little bits that he's doing.
Yeah, he just makes himself at home, and then he's chomping on fucking bananas and mustard with pickles and hot dogs.
Oh yeah, he's eating gross stuff. I mean, that is straight up Little Monster style. He's just eating gross things. Like, again, this just feels like a character in a younger, like a little kids movie almost. Here's what I want to talk about the trickster real quickly though, because he's a trickster demon or whatever, right? He almost gives like genie or djinn vibes a little bit, where he's like giving Eddie his wish of experiencing all this, but he's also like telling him to do things, convincing him. He never really physically threatens Eddie too much. It's just like gaslighting and like emotional manipulation and stuff like that, which Eddie's character is the easiest child to manipulate in history. Like, he's a full-on dum-dum.
Eddie is like fucking stupid. Like, he's
dumb as a brick.
If what we're to believe is that he is experiencing, like, you know, he's told at the very beginning, you're gonna murder somebody, and then you have to cover the murder up. That's the game. And he makes all of the dumbest dumb fuck decisions down the line in doing that, and it, like, inexplicably stupid especially when it comes to interacting with the detective. Like, the one person you should be sort of coy around. He's just like, oh, I definitely didn't do this. That definitely wasn't me.
I think he walks up to me like, where, like, did you murder him? He's like, no.
Like, did you ask that for?
He at one point like goes down and is just sitting there on he has like a weird little moped. He's staring at the like victim's house, and the guy's like, is this a family member of yours? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, then get fucking lost, kid, you know, and he leaves. But then, you know, we'll jump ahead a little bit, but the second disc comes, and he forces the trickster, talks him into playing the second disc because he says there was a witness. We got to get rid of the witness, or you're going to get caught. And he talks him into doing it, and it turns out the witness was Kyle, and he murders Kyle. Although we don't see it happen, he then finds out the next day that he had murdered Kyle. And then when the third one comes, now the third one is he's got to go get rid of some footprints, but I don't know if that's a disc as much as he just has to go back in. But it doesn't matter. It's kind of dumb. And then the last one is like he's got to kill Kimberly. And you see this coming the whole time. Like, no one's surprised when we learn that's what the third disc is. But the third disc, he doesn't even have to be talked into doing it. He just does it. Like, he's just like, fuck it. And like, between that and the peeping Tom shit and the fact that he's like just not that bummed when Kyle dies, he's not a good dude. All right. We don't want things to work out for him. The movie wants you to want things to work out for him. But like, as a regular human, you're like, this guy sucks.
I don't even know that the movie wants things to work out for him, because we have the detective on his case. We have, he forms a nemesis relationship with a dog for some reason.
Oh yeah, the dog thing, especially the post credits or mid credit sequence. I'm like, what is the dog? Like, he's friends with this dog, but like, then what are we meant to think about this dog at the end? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll get to that in the end, but he has an adversarial relationship with it for some reason, and he's also kind of just like a stupid dickhead to Kyle and Kimberly. For like no reason.
Sure.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, it's not like they come over and challenge him on him spending all, you know, the common trope would be, you know, the main character gets addicted to the video game, and then friends and
that's
family.
The Are You Afraid of the Dark version that is like, you know, predictable kid stuff, but is like, makes sense, is well written.
Right.
That's the Goosebumps version.
Right. And then friends and family try to drag him away, and then he becomes, you know, he pushes those people away instead for the video game. But that's not really what happens, because they don't really know, you know, like Kyle has a little bit of sense of that because he's like trying to play the game. But like, you know, Michael's not really, I don't know, Michael's not really turning him away for that reason. He's just like, yeah, don't hang around here anymore, Kyle. Like, I got to get into this. and Kyle's not like concerned about him. Kyle's like, hey man, just let me get that game. He's like, no, you can't. It's just mine.
No, I have mono. Like,
Yeah.
all right. Like, we're not going to fucking make out, dude. Just
Yeah.
give me the game.
I don't go to school anymore. I just sweat inside my house. So,
I just have flop sweats in several layers. Here's what I want to know. Okay. Before we go any further, who is the trickster, right? What is his relationship to the game? Did he create the game? Is he part of the game? Is he a demon that like manifested this game in the real world? Like what is the trickster? We never get any explanation at all.
Yeah, the obvious answer is he's the devil. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the most obvious answer, is because, you know, the whole movie wraps up with this moralizing of Eddie invited this into his home with listening to all the heavy metal and watching all the evil movies, all the evil horror movies. He invited
smoking
this into,
too many cigs. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so he invited this into his home. And so it's, you know, it's a moralizing of like, oh, this is how the devil shows up, and he'll appear in your house as a CD-ROM. and it's not shareware, it's the full version.
Yeah, and he'll show up and it's like, hey, look at these boobs, and you're like, no, and then he says yes. But it's like, I get it that he's okay, fine, but I guess I was talking about more in the context of this story. Like, I know he symbolizes like the devil, and especially especially the freaking, I mean, has some like very Bible thumping underpinnings to it, because not only that, but he is like the embodiment of evil pop culture. MTV, look at the MTV ghoul coming to take your soul and all that shit.
Yeah.
But like, we learn at the end. Well, let's table it, because I guess it's important to explain what happens at the end to people. But
yeah, well, I can probably point to exactly what this is supposed to be. Is back in 1991, there was a VHS board game called Nightmare, and it was like, I think it also goes by the name Atmosphere, or it's part of a series of games called Atmosphere. And then they
used to run TV commercials I remember watching the TV commercials for Nightmare.
Yeah. And basically what it was you played a VHS tape, and then at various points in the tape, this character of the gatekeeper, he would
gatekeeper.
Yeah. He would show up and like give you commands and be like, everybody stop playing. Whoever is on a purple space goes to hell, blah, you know. And so, like,
and he would also just like roast you really hard.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Everybody who rolled a 6 sucks my dicks.
You piece of shit. He called everyone like the F word a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
he called everybody gay slurs, and that's why you don't see it anymore.
No, he didn't, but that would be really funny. Yeah, he was just really pissed off and yelling at you and like telling you were a piece of shit and stuff. But yeah, no, he's I didn't even think about that. He is the gatekeeper, right? So we're meant to believe, though, he is just a character in the game,
right?
In Eddie's world. Anyway, he's the tutorial character. He's the person that's guiding you, I guess. So we mentioned this, but there's this like subplot about censorship, which is also very much at odds with the undertones of all like the moral majority bullshit that we're getting to. So I'm not really sure how those two coalesce, but
it's also funny because there's this morality play about the film plays out like a morality play is what it really does. But it also has a ripping soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack actually kind of fucking goes.
Have a sick ass. Yeah, it does have a sick ass soundtrack. I looked it up. You have it up in front of you. There's some bangers. Yeah.
So I mean, like, one of the first ones that really like hit me was like, you can hear White Zombie just fucking Thunderkiss 65, that gets everybody going. When Trickster first shows up and he's running down Eddie and just giving him business, he goes through his CD collection and just busts a bunch of his CDs. He's like, "You listen to shit. Check this out." And he throws on Primus, and that fucking rules.
I sent this. I have a couple of friends who I used to work with who are big Primus fans, and I meant to send this to him and I forgot. But yeah, I just like, how cool would it be though if they brought the second one up and Les Claypool played Trickster? That'd be fucking sick.
Oh, that'd be great.
Those little ass glasses and shit. Yeah, it's a pretty eclectic track list too.
There was one.
It's very metal centric, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very metal and grunge centric, so it's like perfect for 94. But there was one track, and it plays when Eddie is doing the first murder. But this is a band I like never heard of. But it is really extreme experimental kind of like electronic metal. It's by a band called Old, and it like I'm looking at the credit and they were on Earache Records, which like Earache was like a big underground. So like I know of Earache Records, but I had never heard of this band before. And I guess it was led by this guy Jimmy Plotkin, and I went through his like career, and he has a bunch of experimental crazy bands that I have never heard of. Mm-hmm. So like I'm gonna be looking more into that. But like his stuff is really ahead of the time in this film.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. It stands out because it's fucking crazy and it's loud and it's like close to death metal and grindcore, which that guy fucked around in, and it's weird to hear it in a film in 1994.
Yeah. I mean, listen, guys, don't say we never gave you anything. We just gave you the soundtrack to Brainscan, and it's going to change your life. So maybe quick question too, and I might have missed this.
Sure.
How do we know Kyle's a witness? Doesn't seem to be a witness. Doesn't seem to be letting on he saw anything.
Yeah, I don't know how we know that either.
Besides, just Trickster tells us this, but why? What is he? He's full of shit, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like he's a witness.
Yeah,
we never get definitive yay or nay, but it doesn't seem like he is.
Yeah, we don't get anything. He just does it. He just kills him, like because like we never see Kyle get killed, and we never see any evidence that like Kyle was at the murder site. So he's just kind of like it's just a thing where like Eddie puts in the second disc, passes out, and then comes to, and then Kyle's jewelry is in his freezer. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, where the foot was, and it's all bloody, and then he learns he's murdered. It's on the news, and blah, blah, blah. Eventually, like, there's something in the school newspaper that, like, says Eddie was, like, crying and mad because Kyle died, and then Eddie's pissed at Kimberly because he's like, "You told him I was crying? That's fucked up." I guess that's why he's mad. I don't know. But then she's like, "It wasn't me. It was some other girl at the newspaper." And so that is enough for him to go, "All right, fuck it. I'm killing Kimberly." Which is pretty fucked up of him. And that's when he plays the third tape. But even before that, I do want to jump back because this is a scene that's easy to go over because we have another guy besides the cop, Frank Langella. There's another like forensic expert / other cop partner of him who's like, dusting for fingerprints and is helping, to track down what's happening here. They put together an old fashioned posse in town to just, after Kyle's death, to just scan the neighborhood for the murderer, I guess.
Yeah.
And they just get a bunch of rednecks, right, including the principal, and they're like, Frank Langella gives him a real browbeating, like talking to. He's like, "Listen, you fucking bunch of redneck pieces of shit. Thank you for coming out. Meanwhile, he's just like telling them they're assholes. He's like, listen, I know a lot of you own firearms, but I better not fucking see any of them out here, because if you do, I'm arresting you on the spot. And then they're like, of course, Frank Langella would never do anything like that. Then cut to them all strapped, walking through the woods, getting hammered, just passing bottles of liquor. It's just like Frank Langella really lost control of this posse really, really quick. But there's this scene where they're combing the neighborhood and through the woods, and Eddie Furlong's out there, and there's this game of kind of cat and mouse with, like he said, that dog who he has a real weird relationship with, where he keeps like asking the dog for favors, and the dog like is like, okay, I guess this time. But then, these drunken dickheads find him. My favorite parts, two great parts here, is the principal like tackles him. It's like, I got him, get over. And he's trying to call the cops on the radio, on the walkie-talkie, to say he's got him. And Eddie gets away, and they're under like it's very reminiscent of a Home Alone 2 set piece. They're under this like, I don't know, masonry project that's happening. And an enormous amount, like 2 metric tons of bricks, fall on the principal and crush him. It's fucking awesome. And then one of the rednecks sees the forensics guy, the cop, coming out of, coming out of somewhere, and just shotguns him in the chest.
So I think it's Eddie is hanging out underneath like a burned out house. Like he's
or it almost looks like a construction site, maybe. I don't know, but it's like an incomplete house.
Right. Yeah. So he's hiding in the basement of this house, which is where the dog kind of corners him and everything. But he's hanging out there, and then these rednecks start combing through this house, and they're up on the second floor, and this cop rounds the corner of the stairs with his gun drawn and pointed. And these other
he's going through this fucking house like Zero Dark 30 style.
Yeah. Like he makes no announcements. And so this redneck turns around with a shotgun and goes, that guy has a gun. And you get a second of the cop saying police before he gets blown away with the shotgun. And and I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but the guy who shotgunned that cop is in the right. He's fine. Like that's self-defense, because that guy it wasn't even a cop in a uniform. He's a plain clothes with a gun pointed at him. So I don't know, that guy with the shotgun was completely in the right. He had somebody sneak up on him with a gun drawn and didn't announce himself.
Yeah. I do want the line to be ADR'd in there though, where when he goes, he's got a gun, and then shoots the cop, and then he realizes it's a cop, and when he or maybe right after he says he's got a gun, when another one of the rednecks goes, we've all got guns. I just thought that would be funny. It just had a bit of a Blazing Saddles vibe to it.
Right, yeah.
And then he takes off his hat, his miner's hat, and slaps him with it, and dust goes everywhere. But yeah, so he kills that. And then Frank Langella, no emotion in this entire movie. It's just a steely glare. Goes up to him, checks his pulse. He's, of course, dead, slumped against, the building, all bloody. And he goes, which one of you motherfuckers is going to tell his wife? He doesn't say that exactly, but he basically goes who's going to tell his wife? And just looks at him with disgust. Such a fucking funny. I don't know, just so over the top. This movie is so silly. You've got a damn rock and roll fucking Keith Richards looking Reba McEntire fucking demon eating pizza one second, and then the next second it's like murdered husband cop who's gonna tell his wife, and dead. The through line of like him being scared of stuff because of the trauma of getting ejected from a car with his mom and her being dead, and he has a big scar on his knee, and so he limps. Like this all stuff didn't need to be in the movie, but it is there. It's just the tonal inconsistencies are all over them. It's just wild.
Yeah. And the fact that like none of that really, like all that trauma doesn't come into play. It's just simply the injury that comes into play because he has to limp around when he's running away. Like that's all it is.
You could have just gave him a twisted ankle at some point. Like, yeah, there's so much stuff they set up that never pays off in this movie. Those instances, also the timer, how there's like a timer in all the discs that he plays.
Yeah.
Like he's got to do it at a certain time. It never comes into play. It's never like, oh my God, there's only 10 seconds left. The timer's like pretty irrelevant the whole time.
Yeah. They're like, if you don't complete, they're again explicit. It's like, if you don't complete it, you're in trouble. But he's never like in trouble ever.
No, he always very easily completes his tasks, except for until the last one, I should say. Things go a little wacky in the last one.
Yeah.
He just normally like completes it on time and then chugs a glass of milk.
Yeah, right.
He's done.
I also like how the trickster never really bothers him outside of his home for the most part. Again, except for this last kind of scene instance. But like, if Eddie Furlong was like in the world running around, running away from the dog and the rednecks and everything, and the trickster was just like hanging out on like a pallet of cement or whatever, just like giving him jabs and shit. Like, where are you running to, Eddie? And eating some more mustard bananas or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think I would have liked it more if we just would have saw the trickster like harassing him out in the world.
Yeah, let him out of the cage a little bit here. Anyway, so he keeps doing stuff to make the Frank Langella knows it's him at this point. Like, not only at one point where he calls Kyle's house to make sure he's not murdered, and the cop picks up and he's like, "Who is this?" And he's like, it's not Eddie Furlong.
It's not like, Eddie Furlong.
All right, fine.
Best friend of Kyle. He literally just says later, like, don't say anything, dummy. Don't let him know it's a little boy calling the house. Fucking just hang up, stupid.
Yeah. He's also like, there's another thing. I forget. There's another thing he does to like give them away. But like, when they come over and interrogate him at his house, first of all, he just lets them in, wander around the house. But also he finds like burned clothes, in the middle of summer in his fireplace. And he's like, oh, this kid's up to something. He's not been at school and there's no parents around, whatever. Anyway, so he's playing the game. He goes into Kimberly's bedroom while she's sleeping. And again, her supposing to be like 16 I know she's like 25, but is creepy because she's like in there in her underwear, kind of nighty or whatever. And he's like leering over her with a knife, but he decides he's not going to kill her. And the trickster comes in as like, you fucking loser. Like you suck at this game. and then like Videodrome absorbs him. And this is what we're talking about, where it's like the famous scene with oh god, I can want to say if John Voight.
James
it's not
Woods.
John Voight. Who the hell is in video? James Woods. I keep want to say piece of candy. I know that guy. James Woods in Videodrome, where he's like getting sucked into the screen kind of thing. This is what is happening to Michael, but via the trickster. So much so that they actually do a pretty good job with the effect, where it makes like he's absorbing him into his mouth, like he's eating Michael. And then you see Michael like fall down his
lawnmower manhole,
digital esophagus or something. Yeah. And now the evil is in his mind. And he, possesses Michael. So now he's fully possessed by Trickster, but he resists him. And they're fighting and, whatever. Kimberly wakes up. She reveals she's also a perv to Michael. And Michael's like, he looks like Michael now, but he's got like a little bit of like this weird veiny makeup on. So then, the trickster's inside of him. But she's like, hey, I've been watching you through the window too. And they both reveal to each other they're creeps. And then that like breaks him free of the trickster. And then, at the last minute, the trickster materializes again, opens the bedroom door in this very theatrical way to like a backlit Frangella, Frank, oh my God, why is his name escaping my brain right now?
Frank Langella.
Langella. My God. I want to say Frangella.
Yeah, you're trying to say Frangelico.
Frank Langella.
Thinking about cocktails.
Yeah. He just walks into the bedroom and shoots Michael, right? And kills him. And then in the worst type of ending you can have, they basically do it was all a dream ending, but it was all a video game.
Yep.
And Michael wakes up, he's in his room. The whole thing was part of the game. And then he, flips out for some reason, fucking trashes his own room. So dumb. And he, is excited he's not dead. So he's doing an Ebenezer Scrooge here. So he says it's like this redemption arc. He's like, throwing money to the kid out in the street to go get him the biggest turkey at the butcher shop and shit.
It's literally my note because before he trashes his room, he goes to his window and throws it open like Scrooge. And he sees across that it's still Kimberly's party. So like when he first started the game Brainscan, Kimberly was having a party he wasn't invited to. And so he's like, I'm going to play Brainscan because fuck her, fucking girls, fucking women. I'm an alpha male. I'm going to play video games. And so he does that. And then he comes to, like you're saying, it was all a dream. And he goes to his window and throws the window open, just like Ebenezer Scrooge. And it's just like, I half expected him to scream across the lawn and be like, "You there, boy? What party is it?"
What day is today? Why, it's Kimberly's birthday today, sir. You say it's Kimberly's birthday today?
Take
$100
and then go get me the unicorniest Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper.
Give me all the whippets you can buy. But he comes down and then, Kyle's like at his door and he's like, "Kyle, my boy." Like he's so happy Kyle's alive,
Yeah, I miss you, Kyle. I love you so much. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on in this?
Kyle's like, chill. But he's got this new zest for life because he didn't murder anybody, and right. So he goes over to Kimberly's house and he's like, "I got to talk to you. There's all these cool kids over there." Kyle starts hitting on this like Daria wannabe girl outside, and it seems to be going good for him. So Eddie goes upstairs, says Kimberly, like, "Hey, will you go out with me?" And she's like, I don't think so. Which I think was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I wish she just would have been like, no, you're a creep. But it's very confusing. And this leads me to believe that Kimberly is criminally insane because she's like, "No, dude." And I'm like, good. Like you are right to say no to this weird fucking kid who stares at you through the window. And then he's like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Well, maybe." And he's like, "Oh," she's like, "It's just not a good time." And then he just goes straight Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. And he's like, "So so you're saying there's a chance?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's a chance." And then kisses him. And I'm like, okay, very mixed signals. And it's like, fine, she's supposed to be a teenager. She could be confused about her feelings and whatever. Okay, fine. I like that it's an ambiguous thing there. But then he looks down and finds a bunch of photos she's taken of him through his window. And I'm like, wait, so she is a creep. That wasn't just part of the game. She is a creep in real life. And she obviously has some sort of weird infatuation with him. So why, like, what is she trying to do here?
I don't know. And on the one hand, it feels like the film is doing some sort of moralizing of like, it's a maybe, and she's only going to kiss him a little bit. Like, they're not going to hook up, because also that's weird, because she, like we've mentioned, the actress is 25 and Edward Furlong is still legit only 15. So
yeah,
we're not going to push that too far. So like, yeah, just like a little peck on the lips, and like, yeah, maybe we'll go, get a fucking seltzer at the malt tomorrow, after the party. But but then the reveal that, oh yeah, she is a creep, is like, what? Like, hold up. She's a pervert and he's a pervert, and like they're just going to be perverts together now. So like, they're still bad people. They don't actually learn anything. They don't. He didn't.
I think that she likes how things are. I took it as she likes how things are right now, which is, let's just perv on each other through our windows. You record me, I'll do weird striptease for you, and then I will legitimately take pictures of you when you don't know. Like, that's what gets me off, and that's how I would like our relationship to stay.
Yeah,
that's how I took it.
I don't want to interact with you beyond that. Like, yeah.
Don't ruin this. This is a perfect thing we have going. The next day, Michael takes his copy of Brainscan into the dickhead principal, which got crushed by bricks in the simulation. But of course, in real life has not got crushed by bricks yet. But he's basically like, hey, I want to show a new game to the horror club, and you told me you have to vet everything, so like, here it is. It's called Brainscan. It's fucking sick. He's like, oh, I'm sure this will be fun. I'll have to check it out. And then he turns around and Trickster is sitting there in his office and gives him like the, hey, thanks for the hookup, my dude. Like, and they like wink at each other like they're pals now. And I'm like, what the fuck? So this is a bad ending, right? The whole thing is bad.
Right. Yeah.
To make it just 1 degree worse, halfway through the credits, we get a cutaway to the dog.
Well, not just that. Not just that. The credits are rolling, and Trickster's voice comes over the credits.
Yes, I almost forgot.
To say, hey, wait a minute, didn't you forget about something? It's like, no, we didn't. Like, this movie's over. Like, nothing is happening. What could we possibly be forgetting about? And then it cuts to the dog coming out of the woods with the foot that was cut off the first victim, which was like a whole back and forth earlier in the film. But now the dog still has the foot of a victim of a person who didn't die, actually. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, movie? We didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
You're adding shit.
Yeah, so why... this begs the question, why does the dog have the foot if it was in the game?
Yeah. Well, like, why?
And also, why did Trickster think we forgot something? Like, that was a super clever loose end that they didn't tie up on purpose. It wasn't a loose end. You didn't have to tie it up. It wasn't a gotcha. It makes things make less sense. You should have left it out.
Yeah, it makes things make less sense. Like, things were already tenuous with the fact that Trickster shows up in the principal's office to be like, hell yeah, Michael, thanks for passing me along. I'm going to be the devil in this guy's head now, and we're going to listen to Primus in this old man's house. And it's like, yeah, whatever. That's kind of stupid. That's also like a thing you put in a child's movie, though, of like, passing on the imaginary friend. Like, that, there's so many things in this movie that like feel.
Yeah, he's Woody.
Yeah,
he's Woody from Toy Story.
Yeah. But like, he's passing on a curse instead of like, a fun thing. But there's so many things in this movie that feel like they should have been in a kid's movie, but then like they're not. Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a poorly constructed movie with some wacky moments, some Franklin Jello, some and a really weird and I don't know, charming performance by Trickster.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie is that. I mean, I like the weird little like weird CGI and him falling down rabbit holes and the fucking crazy dated technology being magic and all that. I like that stuff too. And his cool room. I mean, who wouldn't want that fucking room? That room's sick.
Yeah.
You know, I would want that room now, not even like when I was a kid. But the thing that really is by far the most memorable thing is Trickster.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to point out that it is funny that Edward Furlong has been gut shot in 2 films as a child.
He did get gut shot in this movie. I forgot. Yeah.
Because Franklin...
Oh, yeah. We said he shot him, but I forgot he shot him right dead in the gut. So when Trickster lets him into the bedroom, he just fucking shoots him right in the belly.
He just comes in and he just goes, murderer, and blam! Just fucking shoots him right in the guts.
With a fucking snub-nosed 38 right in the gut.
Yeah. So he was shot in the guts in this film, and then 4 years later, he's shot at the end of American History X.
Got shot in American History X. I think he just has such a high, squeaky voice that it's so pathetic. It's just like a dog that's been like, you know, kicked by a kangaroo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
was he gut shot in The Crow, or how did he die in The Crow? Wicked Prayer.
Oh, I think he was. I just feel like I remember him crawling around.
Yeah.
A lot. Dusty crawling.
Or was he like, for some reason I remember him being hung maybe. But yeah. Yeah. People love killing Edward Furlong.
I do not remember. Yeah, I mean, he's fun to kill. But you know what? In real life, still hanging in there.
Yep.
Still hanging in there. He's got them new teeth, just like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. He went to the same dentist and got the same set of teeth, and we love him for it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Brainscan from 1994. Not great, but I do encourage you to watch it. And it's free on Tubi. Go watch it on Tubi. Yeah. It's free over there.
Yeah, if you got something to do. If you got nothing to do on this snowed in Monday.
Yeah, if you're preparing for snowpocalypse like us, put on some Brainscan. You'll have a good time. All right. Also, I encourage you to tune in next week when we reveal our remaining guests for the Regal Ruckus in February, as well as our remaining movies that we will be engaging in said slobberknocker with. So, anything else, Stephen, before we wrap up this son of a bitch of Minisode?
Just remember, Edward Furlong also died in the Night of the Demons remake starring Shannon Elizabeth. He also died in that. That
movie actually fucks and is a great... I mean, I think we've talked about this before. That's a movie I quite frequently put on in the background just for vibes.
Sure.
And I don't know what that says about me. Something probably not good. But it's got some good Halloween party vibes. All right. That being said, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm Knockoff Wishmaster.
And I'm hanging out with that old rapist porn star with the mustache. What's his name? Ron Jeremy.
Oh, Ron Jeremy.
Did Eddie Furlong hang out with him one time in a picture when they all partying in the bar?
Yeah, that's a real sad picture. Oh, yes.
Go Google that. Go Google that and stare at it as you fall asleep tonight. All right, bye. See you later.